Hi, the book that I read and did my review on is called Technology and Society. It's a second edition. It's a Canadian perspective and it's written by John Goyder. Now, this book came out in 2009 and the first one was published in 1977. And he decided to update the book in order to keep pace with the scientific and economic changes between those years. First of all, he talked about the late 1990s at a time of economic upturn, where the jobs became available, a lot of inventions and so on. In the early 21st century, was again an economic downturn. But in spite of all of that, Goethe talks about a time of wondrous invention that took place where young people got a chance to play with a lot of gadgets and technological inventions that their parents never saw the like of during their childhood. And so he decided to write this text in order to give the students that he's teaching at University of Waterloo and also Canadian students and at the university and the college level, a text that is central, that has Canada as a central focus in terms of technology. So he has three purposes he's been mentioned for writing this book. And the first purpose is to present with readers at the university, the cohort of students, a text that is implicit on technology society Canadian, and also to look at a large selection technological issues to prevent a wide selection of information, and also to provide in terms of the rich tradition of technology and in Canada and also around the world. And I think while I was reading, I got a good sense that he did so. The book is divided into three parts. And part one focuses on relationships in terms of titled human beings and technology relations. The second one has to do with the consequences of technology. And the third one has to do with ethical dimensions of technology. He begins by looking at the Canadian scholar Grant, who talked about technology as fate, and then Gordon ties us in with the evolution theory of humankind, and having to do with culture and the fact that how that technology is a deliberate action that comes out of need and of, 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 of culture and the people in society and so on. Then another important aspect of the book or of the text having to do with the notion of diffusion, how technology diffuses throughout society and between societies, and the fact that there are, for example, that the internet was one of the big diffusions that happened, and matter of fact, diffusion to explosion, and has a big impact in our world today. So he also mentioned though that there are some inventions that do not diffuse. For example, video phone that still in the society individuals have their taste that they sometimes decide what they're going to to take on to and what they're not. And video phone is one that has not diffused as much as the inventors thought. What I liked about the text, for example, is engaging. Um, I found it engaging for the most, and there are a lot of diagrams, a lot of illustrations, a lot of examples and charts and so on. A lot of information to do with Canada that I could relate to and connect with, and so on. And some of the weaknesses I found, on the other hand, was I wanted to see more of Canada being explicitly written about in the text. And I also, there were some parts which were very difficult to wrap my mind around in terms of, the read, very difficult, to be focused in order to get a sense of what he was writing about. So for graduate, postgraduate students, I think it's a very good apt text. Whereas when we read the Ursula Franklin, there was mention of Ursula Franklin as well. And as a class, we read the Ursula Franklin. I think that text provides a great overview of technology, the world of technology. In this case, I think there's also more of an application of technology as well. And he ends on the note that we're very much enmeshed in society. At the same time, we're part of society and meshed by technology in society, and that we're also controlled by technology. But in a sense, as we can see with the video phones, individuals still have some choices where technology is concerned, and quite often they do exercise their choice. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoy listening to my presentation. Thank you.